Hi. Thank you so much for all your questions. I really enjoy hearing from you, and I enjoy hearing about your personal work. I enjoy hearing about where you are right now, what your challenge is, and I really enjoy when you ask me questions that signal that you are ambitious about your own well-being and that you want to move forward. That's really amazing. That's what makes me happy. That's like a gift to me. One of the questions I get is there's a few who has asked me, is it really true that you can work through your issues through coaching and psychotherapy? And this is because there's a growing number of specialists coming out saying that you actually cannot get rid of old trauma. You can't get rid of the deep rooted patterns. You can't really get over your childhood. You can only learn to contain it or deal with it. You can only learn how to handle the trauma or handle the side effects of your childhood. And I understand where they're coming from. I understand what they're saying. However, I must disagree. And I must disagree because I have worked through a lot of my issues. My name is Mariah Wolfe, and I am a psychotherapist and a narcissistic abuse recovery coach. And I can tell you that I grew up with a narcissistic father and an alcoholic mother, and it left me invisible, anxious, codependent, insecure, unable to understand social rules, with chaotic attachment patterns, and always attracting people who wanted to abuse me more than have a real relationship with me. And I can tell you, from me personally to you, yes, those patterns can be broken. And this video is a video from me to you, hopefully giving you hope in your personal process. I'll mention a few things that I struggled with in my early 20s, and I will tell you how I got over them. So to name a few things, one of the patterns that were very clear in my severely dysfunctional childhood was that none of my parents could relate to other people in a healthy way. They could not form healthy friendships with an open and honest dialogue. My mom had her closest friend, for example. They always just they had a lot of fun and they were laughing a lot, but because of the severe dysfunction of her alcoholism and her low self-esteem, when this friend's husband came on to her, she gave in and she actually had sex with her best friend's husband. That is something that you can only do if you are severely dysfunctional. You have to have huge issues with your own boundaries to actually do something like this. A healthy person would never do something like that. So she could not form and keep healthy friendships. She always managed to fuck them up in some way. I met some of her friends throughout my childhood. Most of them were alcoholics just like her. And of course it's easy to be friends with alcoholics when you're an alcoholic because you have something in common. You drink and you blame someone else for the drinking. So that's not a real friendship, is it? So she didn't have healthy relationships. My father, being a narcissist, the classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type, of course didn't have friendships because he didn't want anyone to get so close to him so that they would find out who he really was and the emptiness and the pain and the anger that he had inside him. He didn't want people to see that, because then he would feel that he was unlovable and too vulnerable. So he never really had true friends either, even though after his death, some people actually claimed that they were his true friends. And again, it was primarily people who had met him in pubs and clubs and places where they had done either coke or had been drinking. So again, those were not real friendships either. And me growing up, having only those two people as role models for me, I had a really hard time being social with people, because I always had that facade that I didn't want people to really know who I was. I didn't want to be totally honest. I didn't want to seem like I didn't have everything under control. Like, I know everything, I'm good at everything, I can do anything on my own, and I got this, and I'm so good at, I'm like, ooh, look at me, I'm the best. And I took up too much space. And if you're healthy, there's no such thing as taking up too much space, but I took up too much space in an unhealthy way, not making it a two-way street, not going into dialogue with other people, not listening to them, not being interested in them. If I asked them questions, it was only to have them answer quickly so I could answer the question afterwards. And of course, that's not very healthy. This was me in my early 20s, and I'm now in my 50s. And I can tell you that I have friendships with people, men and women, all over the world, and they are deep, and they are honest, and they are very, very, very close and very authentic. There is nothing I cannot talk to my friends about, and we support each other when times are rough, and we are open and honest with each other, and we laugh together, and we support each other when going through rough times. And even though I don't see them all, because I'm a nomad, so I travel the world, that means my friends are scattered all over the world, and I don't have them all close. Even so, I talk to a lot of them often, and we are close even on WhatsApp or Zoom or wherever we talk, Messenger. There are so many options of talking to your friends now. So I still feel close, and we still talk about those deep issues, those deep things, and we still laugh at the world and life and everything. So I feel like I have a family of friends around the world that I have authentic, true, real relationships with. That's one thing I have changed. And I've changed it by learning to stand in my own vulnerability, to open up about who I am and look at it not as a victim, not as something who is flawed and unworthy of love, but as one who is lovable with everything that is inside me. And the thing is that when you do this, when you stand in your own vulnerability and you start to open up and are honest about what is inside you, and you assume responsibility for it. Yeah, it might be caused by my parents once I was a child or back in childhood, but now I'm grown up, this is my issue, this is my thing, this is inside me, so I'm the one who has to work with it and work through it and do something about it. When you stand in that vulnerability and you are honest about who you are and what is inside you, the thing is that the things inside you that you have been scared about, that the things that you are scared that others will find out, become less dangerous. Once you just stand in it and you accept that this is inside you, this is what it is, it will evaporate. And in the beginning, it'll evaporate slowly, but over time, as you get more and more used to being a vulnerable, open, and honest person, they will evaporate faster. So this is one thing that I have changed. Another thing that I have changed is that growing up with a narcissistic father, there's no room for you in that relationship. There's only room for the narcissist. If you have had a narcissist close to you, you know what this is like. And you become invisible because everything you think, everything you feel, everything you are, every opinion you have is not welcome. Nothing about you is welcome. Anything that is welcome is only what facilitates the narcissist. So I erased myself. As a child, I erased myself and I became invisible because being invisible was the only way I could be in a relationship with my father and be sure to not trigger his rage, his insane rage, which you never knew what would trigger. You never knew what might trigger it. So I learned to make myself totally invisible as a person. I would also stay out of the way, of course, physically, but I would be close enough to him so I could always come back quickly if he needed something. Yeah, because I was taught that I was the one who had to facilitate his needs emotionally. So I was responsible for his moods and well-being. And this gave me, of course, some problems in relationships to men later in life, because I was this invisible person trying to make them feel good about themselves. So I was actually a girlfriend cheerleader. The problem was that I wanted the same thing back, of course. I wanted the same from them. I wanted also to be supported and cheered on and made to feel amazing, which I was really good at. But I never got that back, of course, because I chose men who needed exactly what I could give them, and who would never give that back, because of course my father didn't give that back either. So that was what I was attracting. The whole invisible thing is definitely not true. I mean, I'm doing videos on Facebook, a very public medium where I'm talking about my own vulnerability and my own flaws and my fucked upness. So I overcame the invisibility and erasing myself from the world. And the way I did this was to just small steps, one step at a time. I started to explore, who am I? Who is this person that I inherit? What do I like? Where's my boundaries? What are my dislikes? What is important for me? What are my ethics? What are my morals? I started to look at the world, and just like when you're learning about style, by looking at others and seeing, ooh, I like that style. I think I'm gonna try that style, and try it on, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you see what you look like with that style, and you go, yeah, maybe I like that style, I'll make it mine. That's my style now. You can incorporate things from other people. When you meet a person who has traits or ways of doing things that you like, you can incorporate them as well and make them yours. So when you see me, for example, and you see something about me that you like, try it on, try it on, see if it fits you. And it might not fit you at first, but just if it doesn't fit you at first, but you still like it, just take it and put it up on a shelf and save it for later. So the invisibility is also gone, and the erasing myself, the people pleasing is gone. The funny thing is, when you stop being a people pleaser, like really stop being a people pleaser, you become really egoistical, selfish. You look at yourself first. What do I need? First and foremost, what do I need? And of course, this triggers, oh my God, it's me who is a narcissist. I'm a bad person. I'm an offender. I'm like, whoa. That does that to you, and that's okay. Just breathe through it. It's okay. Learn to be selfish, because the amazing, wondrous miracle that happens when you learn to be selfish, not on the account of others, but just to take care of you, is that suddenly you start to want to take care of others again, but in a new way, where you're not giving up on yourself. You're not giving up on yourself when you give to others and you do for others and you help others. You're still the most important person in your own life, but it feels so good to help other people. And that's a new way of helping. So it's not people pleasing, it's true, authentic wanting to help, coming from a sincerity inside you that really wants to reach out and help people, like doing videos on Facebook about how you can move through your childhood side effects. Yeah, so this is just some of the things that I have overcome, and there are like 100 little examples of things that I have overcome and that I have changed. And as you can hear from my story, I'm not just containing them. I'm not just dealing with them. I have actually done something actively to change my patterns. And this is what I want to give to you. I want to share that with you and share the insights and the tools to move on so that you can have the life that you dream of. Maybe you dream of it, maybe you don't even know what it is that you dream of, but you can just feel that there's something in your life that you're not satisfied with and you want to move on from that. So I'm here, and I would be so happy to help you. I am an author also. I have written a few books, and I will put a link to my books in the comments, and a link to my homepage so you can see. And please subscribe and like and do all the things to support that I do more videos for you. Yay! See you later.